Hey everybody, I'm currently working with troubled adults who find themselves in trying situations that have led them down the wrong path. Life can sometimes suck you up and spit you out, but you have to try and rise above to find a better way. Ian Humphreys is a man who had a troubled start to life and made the choice to take a better path. He has left an imprint on me in dealing with adversity that I want to use with my clients. I carry his lessons with me and I would like to share them with you. It was February 10th, 1962. Wham! Down goes Muhammad Ali. He was knocked down for the very first time in his life by Sonny Banks. As the referee began his 10 count, Ali sat up and said to himself, "This canvas is no place for a champion." So he stood up, looked around, dusted himself off, and he hit Sonny Banks so hard his grandma felt it in 3 states away. On that day, he proved to the world, but more importantly himself, that it's not about the knockdown, it's about the get up. It's about what we do after the knockdown. That's what defines who we are. Boxers or not, I think it's safe to say that at some point we all get blindsided. Life comes and knocks us upside the head, and I guess you can say that life sometimes will be your Sonny Banks. Knocking you down, flat on your back, taunting you with a question, what are you going to do now? Now I haven't had the hardest life, but Humphreys is a man who faced many trials and tribulations in his early years. His story resonates with me. Ian faced his Sonny Banks many times. His Sonny Banks began throwing punches a long time before he took his first breath. When he was 2 months old, he was born premature after his mother was assaulted by a neighbor who threw scalding water on her when they had an argument. He was in the hospital for months before going home with his mom. 3 years later, he found and took a bottle of prescription pills that put him into a coma. The doctors didn't think he would survive. Because of this, he was taken from his home and placed in foster care. While in foster care, he was mentally and physically abused. He was also locked in the closet, but he was still standing. At the age of 11, he held on to the hope that his mother was going to regain custody, but before that happened, she died. That was a knockdown punch that set him spiraling out of control. Ian's story is the reality for many of their youths today. Not only was he headed down the wrong path, he fell straight off the damn cliff and paid the price for it. He went down and stayed down. And he says he allowed his life to begin to count him out. He gave up and started to feel sorry for himself. He surrounded himself with all the wrong people. Their bad habits became his bad habits. At the age of 19, he was sentenced to 15 years in prison. Ashamed of the person he had become, he pleaded for help. Charles Lyles, a prison counselor, saw something in him that he didn't see himself. Charles told him, "This doesn't have to be your life. You can do great things." Before walking away, he looked him in the eye and said, I believe in you." That was the first time that someone has ever said those words to him, and that's when he got up. He got up by repeating Charles' words over and over again to himself, telling himself that someone believed in him, that he can do great things. He said these words to himself until Charles' words became his words. These powerful words he began to believe in himself. He got up by refusing to feel sorry for himself. He got up by looking for the lesson behind the knockdown. He got up by focusing on his future instead of his past. Now, we've all had trying times. Sometimes we feel it's better to give in or give up. But as he says, Sonny Banks continues to follow all of us around, trying to knock us back down. Sometimes he succeeds, but we have to pick ourselves up, brush ourselves off, and move on with our lives. He asks, when did you get up, or have you? Perhaps you're getting ready for the fight of your life. Maybe you're down for the count, but as long as you know that there have been people who have faced these opponents and won, then you have to know that it's possible that you can win too. It's a long and intense fight, but anybody can win if you're willing to put in the work. As Ian believes, and as I do, the next time life knocks you down, the most important thing that you can do is find a way to rise up. Because it's not about the knockdown, it's about the get up. It's about what you do after the knockdown that defines who you are. Everyone who watched that fight knew that Muhammad Ali was down, but he only knew that he wasn't out. Strive for that inner strength, get up. Only you can define who you are.